Magic Kingdom. And look, the train is running. And it's all decorated. It's really cute. Never done the Hall of Presidents, and so we're gonna do it since we have a lightning lane that we have to wait for. We are gonna watch the show. So it's at 7:15. We got 10 minutes. That's cool. All right, we're in here. Never done this show, so it's kind of cool to see inside. Pretty big theater. Great AC, so when it's hot out, this is a great pit stop.
Walt's vision was to honor the nation by honoring the American presidency.
It is 1783, and the smoke is clearing in the wake of the Revolutionary War. The people don't know exactly what a president will be, but there is little doubt who it will be. George Washington's stature and bearing have marked him as a leader. His integrity has made him a great one. Washington knows that many generals who have led successful revolutions make themselves dictators or kings. Instead, he steps down from power and retires to his home, Mount Vernon. The world takes note, and George Washington becomes the symbol of American ideals. In the first presidential election, it's Washington by a landslide. The only doubt seems to be his own. He writes, "Integrity and firmness is all I can promise. Integrity and firmness is exactly what we need." Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Andrew Jackson. Elections are often bitter. Each president stands at that fiery intersection where personal character meets the challenges of the times. Or free. The question produces bitter conflict. The issue rocks the election of 1860 and brings Abraham Lincoln onto the national stage. The tall, lanky, some say uncouth candidate from Illinois is a master of words at a time when speeches are printed in full for people to read. A house divided against itself cannot stand, he has said. With Lincoln's election, the House does indeed divide. Civil War. 11 states secede from the Union. The war becomes a defining passage in the American story. The president's own inner strength and depth of character changed the course of history. Lincoln had come up the hard way, on the American frontier, desperately poor, with less than a year of formal schooling. His early years were scarred by tragedy, the death of his mother, his sister, his first love. He struggles with depression, but never loses his determination to rise above it. He once said he's driven by a desire to leave the world a little better place for having lived in it. The war rages. Lincoln fights to preserve the Union and end slavery. Neither is a sure thing. At Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, 6 months after one of the bloodiest battles of the war, the president dedicates a cemetery to the thousands of soldiers who died there, in words we can never forget.
"Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
The blood of over 500,000 Americans is spilled in this civil war. Proud history. Ladies and gentlemen, the Presidents of the United States of America. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, James A. Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard M. Nixon, Gerald R. Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. And now we come to the present. Once again, we place our trust in the idea of a president, as we have from the beginning.
My fellow citizens, no event could have filled me with greater anxieties than that notification on the 14th day of April, 1789, that you had selected me to lead our nation. But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That's right, baby.
So help me God.
The presidency of the United States is a role unique in the world, an office entrusted to each president by us, we the people. Therein lies the genius of that new idea, now over 200 years old.
It was a pretty good show, actually. I've never seen it. None of us have ever seen it. It was very detailed in early history. The screens, the projections, the mannequins, like how they moved when Abraham was sitting and he stood up. President Lincoln stood up. I was like, okay, I see the mechanics here. So, what'd you guys think of it?
That was nice.
Right?
Nice.
That was a nice show. We've never seen it. the mannequins with Abraham Lincoln, he stood up.
The president.
Yeah, and he stood up from the chair. Wasn't that cool? I was like, wow. They look real. They were nodding.
Like somebody was portraying.
Yeah, like it looked very real. So next time I want to get a little closer seating to kind of like see it and kind of show you guys a full show. I did show quite a bit just because I thought it was so interesting and cool to see. So, all right, we made an ice cream stop. Had to get my pineapple serenade float. Typically comes with a pineapple guava orange juice mix. They didn't have any more, so they just gave me pineapple, which is fine. And it's coconut soft serve and like a pineapple upside down cake pop. But it's gonna melt, so bye. We are at Adventureland, right by Aladdin, and we see the fireworks perfectly while sitting down. Not a lot of people around. It's happening, guys. I'm so happy. they're just going. So Adventureland, not a bad spot to see the fireworks. You don't see the castle, but you can hear the music. And now we're going behind the scenes. They opened up by Crystal Palace.
We'll spend more money. Just beware. I'm a size large in fear jerseys. You take steps. I'm just kidding. No, I do not take steps. All right, my friends, we're going to.
And they're letting us go backstage. So we're walking right behind Main Street. It's not so crowded. It's still crowded, but it's not so crowded. It led us right to the Christmas tree.
There's one in between this building and the next one.
So fast. That took like 3 minutes. Alright, that was our trip today at Magic Kingdom. I hope you liked the video. Did you guys have fun? Alright, like and subscribe. My name is Stephanie, and thank you for being a part of my world.